Welcome to your Tuesday edition of FreightWaves Now. The market surely is changing. Let's talk about what's going on. First off, here's Donny Gilbert talking to the brokers out there. Now it's time for your brokerage update with the master, Donny Gilbert. What do you got for us today?
It's Tuesday before Thanksgiving, Kyle.
It is.
So here, everybody's looking out to the West Coast. They've always been used to getting out, between now and through December 24th, trying to find those big loads that are coming off the West Coast for the big money. Well, that's different now. My first chart here I brought you is outbound tender rejection rates for the Los Angeles market. And here in the green line, this is 2018, and in the blue line is 2019. We're currently at around 4.94% on tender rejection rates, which is fairly pretty low. It's kind of mean that the spot market rates are only around the contracted rates out of this market. Totally different than what we saw last year. Now, looking at here last year, this was Thanksgiving. So last year, Thanksgiving was a week early. So comparing this rise here, it actually should be a few days back here on the green line, where it rose up to, well over 12% for tender rejection rates. This year, we're a lot more mute. So maybe brokerage this year, don't be looking out on the West Coast for your freight right now. That's not where it's at. We kind of knew earlier this year with the pull forwards that the freight was brought in early, and it was actually moved out across the U.S. early. So still looking at our national levels, we still see that reefer and dry van tender rejection rates are increasing. We got dry van tender rejection rates up to 6.44% and reefers up to almost 20%. So here in the last few days, we have seen it picking up, which this is what we want to see. It's just not as high as it was last year. So don't look at the West Coast. This is a different year. The freight's not there. Look at other different types of markets that are maybe some of the warehousing markets. Here I brought Joliet, Illinois. We have rates picking up here the last several days, up to 5.69% for a dry van, and the reefer's up to 13.32%. So dry van's still around, the contracted rate level, but reefer's picking up a whole lot. Of course, we got Thanksgiving coming up, which that can be pushing reefer tender rejections up as well. But don't look where you normally look. Go and find out and seek other markets using sonar. Another market, here let's look at Harrisburg, PA. Again, the same type of scenario. We see dry van tender rejection rates picking up to 7.78%, which means that dry van spot market rates are now a little bit above the contract rates coming out of Harrisburg. PA's always been a tough market. It's normally a backhaul market, 11 and a half or 10 and a half months out of the year. Right now, the rates have picked up out of the Harrisburg market. Reefer's up to 13.35%. So again, go to these other markets. Look at Memphis, look at Atlanta. Don't look at your playbook from last year, because it's not going to work this year. Things have changed, and you've got to dig in and find those new markets for 2019.
Hey, things have changed, and that's why it's so important to have sonar in your arsenal of being able to make actionable decisions. Thanks so much, Donny, for the brokerage update. We'll see you again next time. Welcome to your Tuesday Carrier Update, sponsored by PowerFleet. My name is Kyle Cunningham. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's a good news day for carriers yet again, Tuesday leading into the week before Thanksgiving. Let's take a look at outbound tender volumes and see what's happening. Now 10,200, very positive stuff. So you can see as we cross over this 10,000 baseline, we're now in elevated freight outbound levels. So let's look back. Last time this hit, October. So we made it through the downward portion. I was projecting a bit of an increase a few days early, but here we are now. You can see it running up 10,200. As of last year, you can see the seasonality dropped off way earlier last year. So heading into this week, make sure you take advantage of what's on the load board. If you got contract, make sure you keep that running. Let's take a look at outbound rejections and see what's going on in the USA as a whole. See here, compared to the volume, as the volume starts picking up, outbound rejections start going crazy, 7.31%. You can see the last time these were at 7.31% is even further back than past August. So good news, if you have better opportunities, it might be advantageous to look outside of your normal contracts. Let's look at some of the markets across the country and see the idea of all of these outbound rejections above 10% rising up. So a sea of green. The only one that's actually down, that's above 10% down from this point last week, is Joplin, Missouri. So everything else, huge moves up. If you're running any of these markets at all, know that your assets are way more valuable today. Talking in Illinois today, Quincy, Illinois, inbound above outbound. You can see here outbound rejections up to 21.94%. So 1 out of every 5 contracted tenders being rejected in Quincy. Tender lead time here starting to increase as we go into the holiday. Down the road in Taylorville, Outbound still above inbound as well. Both of these are trending down, a little shorter on the outbound rejections, 13.36%, still favorable to carriers. Outbound lead times in Taylorville still running up as well. Hey, thanks so much for watching your carrier update today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow and have a fantastic day.